spread a little aloha around the world. At breakfast with Bob.
Thank you, Poncho Man. Welcome back, everybody. Breakfast with Bob, our Not Quite Kona edition. My name is Bob Babbitt. We are brought to you by Master Spas as fuels go longer. Hoka Let's Fly, Form Smart Swim Goggles, DeBoer Wetsuits, Quintana Roo, Zoot, the original triathlon brand, Premium Plus Sports, and of course, our Challenged Athletes Foundation. We've got the PTO Milwaukee event coming up soon, and a gentleman who is seriously the number 2 ranked runner in the sport, Mr. Jason West, joins us, and he's been having a great year. Jason, how you doing, brother?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Doing well.
It's so funny. I was interviewing David McNamee the other day, and he's like, Jason West is running on a level that I have not seen in a long time. I've seen people pass me before. This guy's flying. Talking to Tom Bishop, he's going, Clash Miami, this guy went by me like I was standing still. He's running like the ITU guys. He's running like Alex Yee. That's what he's talking about. And I'm like, okay, we better chat with Jason before he goes and wins Milwaukee next week. Have you been doing any, obviously you've always been a great runner, but do you feel like you're running at a different level than you've been running in the past?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit. It's just ever so marginally better, right? Over and over and over again. And I feel like I've started to really figure out that middle distance, and I think it suits me quite well. So I think for a long time, it was just figuring out how to be strong enough on the bike to actually come off and
Yes.
be able to run well. And I felt like I kind of started to figure that out. And then now it's also been, I'm getting faster and faster at running too, which is super exciting. And yeah, just the combination of the two, it's just like, it seems like I'm on a different level, but the way I see it, I'm like, man, it's been like inch by inch, just slightly better here and there. So
Yeah.
yeah, I know it always looks like that from the outside. But yeah, I mean, it's exciting.
When you were doing the ITU stuff, were you running as well back then, or do you feel like you've made some big gains?
I think I'm definitely faster kind of in every way. Like I've just taken a whole developmental approach, and I think I would run a 5K faster than any time in my life right now. Even if I was just doing that. So I feel like even if I went back to the ITU, I'd be better at that as well.
Yes.
Just because my short end efforts I've continued to work on, and they're like so much better than they ever were when I was doing the ITU, which you wouldn't think would be the case, right? Because you'd think I'd be training for half marathons, but I've definitely kept this like super fast approach and trying to be really, really quick. And yeah, like I'd be super excited to jump into a sprint distance race and see how fast I could go, because I think I would be better at that too. So
I'm sitting there going, when I look at the men's side of American triathlon for the Olympics, I'm going, I don't know if anybody's running as well as you are right now.
yeah, it's definitely it's something that I've been thinking about, to be totally honest. And
Yeah.
I haven't contacted USA Triathlon yet. But there's thought in my mind that Olympic team is kind of wide open, and I would love to throw my hat in the ring and maybe get a couple World Cup starts at the end of the year, because for a middle distance guy, after August, there's nothing really going on.
Right.
There's some little races, but I've been trying to think of what's going to motivate me at the end of the year to keep getting better. And I either go do an Ironman or I go to short the other way and I try to do the ITU. So I've been exploring options a little bit and seeing maybe what doors will open for me a little bit. So who knows?
What's fascinating about that, I think you would be successful either way. If you jumped into an Ironman, you could win your first time out. And if you go back to ITU, you certainly could be first American first time out. So it's you really can't go wrong either way, except that the Ironman weighs a hell of a lot of training.
Yeah, it's, I don't know that I can train any more than I do right now, to be honest. Even if I did Ironman, I think the total volume would be quite similar. The workouts would be different. So yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it's like I feel like I could go either way and have a lot of success, but what I've definitely learned is whatever you do, you got to go all in on it and you got to focus on it. So it's like, if I'm going to go short, it's like, let's plan on doing that and let's put a lot of months into it and see what I can do. And if I'm going to go long, then it's like, we're going all in on that. So, yeah, it's kind of funny that I feel like I could go either direction.
Yeah.
And it could be good, but yeah, we'll see.
What's fascinating, again, if you're able to get some starts, that's always the hardest thing, right? Getting some starts at the ITU race at the end of the season, that will obviously transfer well to 70.3 and the PTO races, because you're just focusing on raw speed, and you really don't have to do anything changing your training at all.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely like some really specific aspects. I mean, the ITU is a different animal, and the swim's crazy aggressive and all, and like, it's just a little bit different. The bike training, you're doing a little bit different stuff. But yeah, I think it would benefit the middle distance racing a ton, because I mean, the middle distance racing nowadays, it's an ITU swim. That's the reality of it. It's, the fastest swimmers from the ITU are now leading these races, so you have to be that quick. And it's quite aggressive out there on the bike. And so yeah, I mean, it's just like the middle distance races, I think, have evolved a lot, and the intensity that we're holding for as long as we are is pretty wild. So yeah, I'd be super psyched to do some of that training, and it would definitely be beneficial for the middle distance for sure. Yeah.
So when we look at, what was I looking at? I was looking at Ibiza, and I mean, your run split there, low 57 low. Frodeno was, where was Frodeno at? I mean, you were only a couple seconds behind Frodeno, and you outsplit him in a run, right? He went like an hour and 18 seconds, and you went 57. You outsplit Magnus by a couple minutes. Christian went 58.29, and Max went 58.56. You're outsplitting all the top guys. That's got to make you feel good. I mean, here you are, a sandwich. You got Frodeno 2 seconds ahead, and then you're in front of Brownlee. 3 gold medals between them, plus 3 Ironman world title. That's some good company that you're racing in.
Yeah, definitely. And it's, that's been the goal, is to be rubbing shoulders on race day with those guys. And, I mean, it's great to run really fast, but at the end of the day, it's swim, bike, run, right? And it's almost like, well, if you ran that fast and you were only 5th, what happened? Right. So yeah, it's great that I'm running really well, and I feel like I have that in my back pocket, but there's so much focus going into the swim and the bike. And it's like, I want to put myself in a position when I get to T2 that I know I can go in the race. And yeah, like I want to go a lot faster. I've set a goal of running 55:30 over that distance. Obviously, it's always going to be pretty dependent on the course and the conditions and all that. And we have some hot races coming up, I think. So it, might not be feasible. But yeah, I mean, hopefully, like I want that lead group swim, and then I want to try to ride with those leaders as long as I can, and then maybe try to put together that run and see where it puts me. And I mean, that's the thing. It's, the sport has evolved so much, and there's like, Magnus is riding at this crazy level, and I almost feel like if you're not trying to push the sport forward, or you're not trying to like do something crazy, you're kind of just going to get left behind. So
right,
like, these guys are just going so fast that it's you have to be raising your own level every day, it feels like.
Well, and then you're coming off of Patrick Lange running 2:30 at Roth, and then 2:30 at Israel. Obviously, the run numbers are going crazy as well. There is a gap, and he's going 2:30. The other guys are going like 2:36, 2:37, 2:38. But that would be, if you were jumping in, that would be you. That would be you in the mid 2:30s, based on what you're doing now. Of course, training could be a little different when you start talking marathon rather than half. But just with your raw speed, you would be right up there, and you sort of have to be, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, if you said somebody was going to run 2:30 and not win the race, that's kind of wild. So it's like, a guy like Magnus in the past, I mean, they might get off and run 2:45, but he's getting off of that swimming bike and running 2:37 or whatever.
Yes.
So it's not like you can give these super strong riders a massive chunk of time because they're running really well too. So it's like you really can't have a weakness. So yeah, I mean, I look at Ironman and I'm like, I don't know, is a 2:27 possible? Maybe, who knows? I mean, I've never done it, and I might get out there and be like, just get destroyed. I don't know. So yeah, I mean, it's just awesome to see the sport going where it is.
Well, in Oceanside, you get to go against one of the top ITU guys, Leo Berger, and he rode really well, right? Like 2:40. I think he took like over 2 minutes and 40 seconds out of you on the bike, but you're right with him on the water, and you're running faster. So and then that's a guy who's potentially could win the Olympic gold next year.
Yeah, I mean, it's been great. Like, I feel like almost every race this year has been just against amazing competition. And it's, for it all to go really well is awesome. But yeah, that was tough to come up like 10 seconds short from catching him. And then in Ibiza, I was like 3 seconds short of Jan. And I was like, my gosh, like these multiple times where I'm getting like that close. But yeah, I mean, Leo was incredible that day, and rode like super strong, and I didn't think I was going to be able to get anywhere near him, but yeah, I closed pretty good. And yeah, I mean, it's just to be racing with these guys who are ITU world champ or Olympic medalists and world champs, and I mean, it's just pretty incredible to be at that level in the sport. I mean, that's all you ever like dream of, right?
And the cool part is it used to be, you get fifth in a race and you're looking, oh my God, I got fifth in a race, but you get a fifth in it at the PTO European Open, and it's basically a Hall of Fame field, and the money is really good. It's like winning a race. A lot of times you go to a 70.3 or a challenge race or other races like that, and you get you're getting $15,000-$20,000 for winning the race. And with what the PTO has done is they've made it so it's really important to be your top 5, top 10. You're getting a good payday.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just to make the start list.
Yeah.
Like, I always thought, WTS was difficult to make the start list, and this is less than half the athletes probably. Yeah. So they're probably the most exclusive start lists in the sport. And like, if you're on the start list, you're probably winning races elsewhere, and you're doing incredible things. And you look at the list and you're thinking, man, I could have a good day and be like 15th.
Exactly.
Like, it's nuts. So yeah, like to have those opportunities, and just to be like, if you're on the start line, you're really, really good at this. And yeah, like you just know, I mean, if you were like, oh, if I want to be on the podium, I have to beat an Olympic gold medalist because there's 3 in the field. It's like, it's, but it's super exciting, right? They're like fields we've never seen before, and we're doing it over and over again. And yeah, like you said, like you can show up, you can come 6th, 7th, 8th. It's a good payday. And yeah, I mean, it's just like incentivizing us all to come and race each other more often, which is what everybody wants to see. And it's what we all want too. Like, we want to have reasons to come and be at our best against all the best athletes. So yeah, hopefully it sticks around for a long time, because it's making the sport just like crazy exciting. So
it really is. Yeah. And then when I look back, this last 2019, you win 70.3 Santa Cruz. 2021, you get Memphis, 70.3 Memphis and Des Moines, and then you get Augusta and Chattanooga in 2022, Clash Miami this year. So 6 big wins since 2019. That's pretty fun.
Yeah, definitely. And it's fun to be going after even bigger things, right? Like, there's a lot of these races on the calendar that in the past maybe I would have been really excited to go and try and win, and now I'm kind of just like, there's these super big races, and that's what's really exciting to me right now is, I could go to some smaller races and get more race wins, and that might be fun for a time. But right now it's like I can go after these really, really big races, and you might not win much. Like that's the reality, is you're probably not going to win much, but if you come third, it's like the day of your life.
Totally.
Um, so yeah, I mean, it's just, I feel like I'm in a point in my career where I want to go after those big things, and I want to race the best athletes, and I want to try to win a world title and do those types of things. And, yeah, it's kind of like you got to go all in on the big days, and that's fun.
Well, in August, you got a few big days.
Yeah.
I mean, it can make somebody's career. You go to Milwaukee, and after Milwaukee, you go to Singapore, and after Singapore, you go to Lati. Someone has 3 great races. It's like, oh my God, not only a lot of money, but you get a world title and PTO title. That would be pretty damn cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's like wild. Feel like I haven't raced in forever right now, because I've known this massive month of August is coming up, and it's like these 3 world championship fields, essentially. Like you're racing world championships 3 times in 1 month. And yeah, it's almost like, man, we've put the whole year into this month, so like, let's go get it. And yeah, I mean, it's exciting, and it's cool that it's not like there's not one race. It's like I could race like crap on Friday in Milwaukee. Well, hey, there's 2 more opportunities like coming up that you get to race all these athletes again and have a great day. And I think that's super exciting. It's not just like there's only one opportunity. So yeah, but I mean, it's like 3 massive races, and hopefully it goes well. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of travel and some big stuff. But yeah, I'm excited for it.
The other thing, I like the fact that people can make a living in the sport without having to go do a full, right? And at this point, be with PTO, with Challenge, with Clash, with 70.3. You don't have to make that move where it used to be. If you wanted to make it, you sort of needed to go move up to the full Ironman. And the fact that you haven't done one, right? There's smart man, and that's to keep your legs fresh. I was talking to Cam Worth the other day. He's done 30. Oh 30 marathons. I'm like, Cam, I understand you're trying to learn, but 30 since 2016, that blew me away. That's a lot of freaking, I know, right?
Like 4 a year or something.
Yeah, mind numbing. It's mind numbing. And he did 1 year was like 8. I get 8 1 year, and with Challenge Roth, and he's just going, oh my God. But that's his mentality is a little different than the average. I mean, for one time I was interviewing for Tri Club, and he says, we got to understand, it's the year he did 8, but you got to understand this. I get up every morning and go swim 2.4 and ride 112, and that will take nothing out of me.
Yeah.
Man, you are a freak. You are the unicorn. I don't think most of us think along those lines. When you think about jumping into a full, is there anything about that scares you?
Yeah, well, like there's been so much opportunity at the middle distance that I've almost had a hard time finding a place where I feel like it fits, because I have a lot of respect for the training that needs to be done and the event itself and what that's going to do to me, that I feel like I need a pretty dedicated period of preparation. Like I don't want to just hop in and think I can do well. And like, I don't feel like it's going to work that way. I think you need to do the work, and you need to respect that. So for me, I'm like, where do I have an opportunity to basically set aside 3 months for this one event? Because if you want 8 weeks of really specific prep and then you do it, and considering I haven't done any, I'm probably going to be a bit messed up for like a month.
Easily. Yeah.
So I need like 3 months where this is the only goal. And there's been so much big opportunity with the middle distance that it's almost hard to fit that in. At the end of this year, like it might work. Like I said, if you wanted to turn up to a Florida or a Cozumel, you'd probably have a couple months to prep and finish your year with that, something like that, since there's not much middle distance stuff going on. So it does, for me, it's thinking, hey, do I want to do this, and does it fit? Because it's gotta work, and you got to be all in, and you got to do the preparation, because otherwise I think Ironman will probably eat you up and spit you out. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely interesting to me though, because it's an unknown and it's such a long day. And I feel like the level's going up, and it's just like, there's so many new elements to it, things you have to get right. That it's like, I feel like I can show up to most middle distance races and I know it's going to turn out like pretty decent at this point. But an Ironman, it's like, man, you might go and have the best day of your life and crush it, or you might not finish.
You could be on the side of the road. I know. Yeah, I mean, the pros go into it the same as the age groupers, not knowing if they're going to get to the finish line, right? When you're doing a full, it's a long day, and there's a lot that can happen there that you have to be ready for.
Yeah, and like I said, it's like I have so much respect for the performances that are being put in that distance and the preparation that needs to be done, and I wouldn't want to half-ass it and just think I can show up and do well. Like, I don't know, I'd like just some delusional confidence or something. It's like, you need to put in the work and do it right. So I just would want to respect it and respect the work and really like do it the right way.
So when I get to interview people and they start talking about an athlete and your name has come up over and over again, people are like, this guy is at a different level. This guy is at a different level. What have you learned about yourself through all this? Because you're at a different level now than you were. You're people, when they talk Christian Blumenfeld and Gustav Eden, and they're talking about who's going to be a factor in a race, your name is in there now, right? It's in there, and that can change people, but it's also something that obviously that's why you do this.
Yeah. I think like you have to keep this perspective of like expecting nothing but appreciating everything. So it's like, you can get in your head that you're a favorite for the race and you should be at the front or anything, but like, every time you do it, you have to appreciate what you just did, and like really take that in and not take it for granted, because you don't know how many times you're going to be able to do that, right? And I think if you get ahead of yourself and you start thinking about the expectations, and that stuff can stress you out a lot and things like that. So I think I've come to a point in my life where I just have a better perspective on racing and what I want out of it. And it's just, I don't race from a place of fear or doubt or anything like that. I just genuinely want to be out there, and I want to push myself as hard as I can. And I know if I do that, good things are going to happen. And if I win, I win. And if I come in 20th, I come in 20th, then I'll sit on my couch watching the same show on Netflix that I would otherwise. Like, it's, it's not all that much different. It's, so yeah, I just think I'm at a different place in life. I have a different perspective on it all. And, just like my goals and what I want to get out of it are different. And a lot of that has just served me really well, because I think if you want to win, the worst thing you can do is focus on winning. It's like, you just have to focus on what you're doing and trying to get the most out of yourself and how you do that. And it's just been a big mindset shift, I think. And I'm just like genuinely just grateful to be where I am and like racing at the level I am. And it's like, you just have to keep perspective on it. And it's like, if 5 years ago I knew I was going to be here, I would be just like over the moon, right? And it's like, you can always compare yourself and want more, but it's always like, appreciate where you're at and enjoy it. So so I mean, I don't listen to too much of what other people say or what's going on. So I don't know if people are expecting me to be up there or not, to be honest.
They are. So when I look back, 2016, you did the WTS, 46th at Abu Dhabi, 7th, right? Leeds, 2027th at Leeds, making and back then, I think we still had, I think the first time we chatted was at New York for the New York Tri. At that point, people could still do well at non-draft Olympic distance. So there was a sort of a natural transition from, okay, ITU isn't my bag, I'm going to go do non-draft Olympic, and that goes away. That dries up. So now you've got to go from Olympic format, draft legal, to middle distance non-draft. I mean, it's a huge jump. Did you feel right away that this was better for you?
Yeah, probably. I think I was a bit, I think winning my first time out at Santa Cruz was maybe a bad thing, to be honest.
Huh. Too much
Just
confidence.
Yeah, I jumped up to it and it went really well, and I almost was like, I got this. And then
Sort of.
the next few, I was terrible. So I think it's definitely a jump, but not having to go Ironman obviously helps, right? Because I think even ITU guys, they're doing so much training, they can jump up to middle distance pretty quickly.
Yep.
You have to get used to a time trial bike and things like that. But yeah, I mean, overall, I think it fit my personality better. I just like to work hard and grind and do those things. And long course racing is more about that. I mean, you're training a little bit more. You're these long, like harder efforts that are more like toothache efforts. It's like it hurts, but it's not that bad. Like you can keep going, and it just fit my personality well. And I think you naturally are probably like physiologically designed to do what in your head seems right. So I think the middle distance and like that half marathon distance has always been a really sweet spot for me. I think like that effort, I just love being at that effort. It's like it's not killing you, but it's really hard, and you have to be really mentally strong. And so yeah, I think it's just personality wise it fits. And then started getting better at it and stuff, and it's feels like probably where I'm supposed to be racing.
Love it. Hey, have a great race in Milwaukee, Jason. I can't wait. Actually, have a great month. August is going to be pretty special.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully they all go well, but we'll see. And yeah, first one coming up quick. So I'm excited.
Love it. Jason West has been our guest, everybody. Breakfast with Bob. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Jason, we'll hopefully chat after your Triple Crown here in August.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for catching up.
Pleasure. Jason West again has been our guest, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next time. See ya.